Welcome to Spear, Zambia. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to the channel, the YouTube channel, and what we're doing, don't feel like a lone ranger. The channel is new, so thank you for finding us. If you're family, friends, etc., whatever, thank you so much for your support and for joining us. We're trying to start bringing you what we're doing, but also just what's here from Zambia, so you can understand what's happening on this side of the world. So today, we're going to tell you about what we saw. We went out to a village. We went out to Sean. This is, for those of you that don't know, I'm Denver Black. This is Sean Kelly.
Yeah.
And behind the camera is Gabriel Zechariah Black, manning the technology for us, who we greatly appreciate. Credit to Gabe for all
of it. Was part of the team that we've just been out with to Namaila.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, we want to just take a moment and tell you and show you what we did, because we've been looking for opportunities, through Spear, strategic partnerships enabling abundance and resilience. But, none of that can happen without new birth, without transformation of the gospel. And then, so talking with Sean saying, but we want to go out and help. And so we decided to go to a place that Sean has been to on numerous occasions, to a village not far from here. So do you want to tell us a little bit about?
So when you think of needs, probably it's the same in most parts of the world, but for certain Africa, just about everywhere you go, there's needs. But what struck us about Namaila is that it is more remote. I mean, some people classify Mazabuka, where we are based here, as remote, but it's quite a different story to where we've just come from. This place, Namaila, is in the escarpment as you go down into the Zambezi Valley, where Lake Kariba is. And it's where the road ends. And we're not talking about the road, just a dirt road, where it ends. Beyond that, there's only bush tracks. And it's a remote area, but there's a need for the gospel there. Unlike in some of the cities where you've got many churches, thankfully that's great, but not much focus is often given to remote areas because, various reasons. But Namaila is a place that I first arrived on a bicycle, just doing some exploration. And through some circumstances, we got permission from the chief of the area, Chief Sanjalika, because he was concerned seeing someone that looked foreign, although I said I'm Zambian, which is true, we're here. What were we doing there? And when they found out that we're not prospecting or trying to look for copper out the hills or aluminium like some other countries, we've got the open door there. And we met on one of I think the first trip, we met the headman there, who's under the chief, and his name's David, along with his son, whose name is Vious. And Vious has proved to be like the man of peace there, that's opened up things for us there. And this was the first time to go with Denver. And what struck Denver, I think one of the things was when I said to him, in this place, not only is it a real need for people to hear the gospel, it's an area where it's quite unique. There's a river that runs through it all year round, and it's a very dry, arid area in terms of rainfall. They do get rain in the rainy season, but starting in the escarpment, it gets hotter and hotter as you go down in altitude. But there's a spring that's a strong spring that runs all the way through the year, and it starts this river that goes all the way down for about 50 kilometers, winding through the escarpment into Kariba Dam at the bottom. And so that's why you got these villages starting at Namaila going down, and thinking about strategic partnerships and the gospel. That's what excites us, and we've just been there on more of a recce trip, but also sharing the gospel and continuing where we left off.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So we decided we need to get started, and we need to go. And so, like you said, this was a kind of a beginner's trip to just go down, refresh connections for us to get to experience the first time and to introduce us. And so that's what we did. So we left here in the afternoon, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, about 14, and drove down. The road's quite nice actually, which is refreshing.
Yes,
The roads
the
are
first
usually
part.
not so
The
nice
first
here.
part. Yes.
Drove down some nice roads and then into some not as nice roads, but those are enjoyable too because we could do a little 4-wheel drive.
Yes.
Beautiful scenery across the ridge line, and following there's a ridge that parallels us the whole time. Absolutely beautiful. And even then it's fun to just wave at people and see. There's we'll put a clip in, there's a little town that Sean says it reminds me of the Old West a little bit. There's a little bit of the Alamo in there, and and people greeting you, so happy to see. You don't see these people so often coming through.
Very unusual to see people. When I say people, like Muzungus or white people.
White people.
Yeah, but generally very welcoming, and you can see people. What are you guys doing?
Pull in, come in.
Yes, come and talk to us, even on the way.
Yes,
they're asking us to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So beautiful drive. We arrived. We come down the escarpment. Took our time. Arrived sometime around 3:30, 4 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon, and met Vious there, who was waiting enthusiastically.
Yes.
To greet us.
I was wondering how are we going to meet him?
Yeah.
Because there's no cell phone coverage there. There's no, I kind of remembered generally where he stayed, but I hadn't been to his house yet. And but there he was.
He was there
waiting with his friend at the only place you can come into Namaila. So that was a warm welcome, and it was straight into an action-packed time that we had there.
It was beautiful. So then from there, we went and he introduced us to his father, the headman.
Yes. And he claims that, he claims it is true. He's got 13 chieftains under him. So he's what they call an area headman.
Okay.
But his son is the one that's, from a gospel point of view, shown great openness, although he was very happy to see us, that we're back again, and very welcoming. And that's what makes such a difference, because they know we're there for not our enrichment, but they know we're there under the banner of Christ, really, to share the gospel and to help. And that was encouraging. And he himself was encouraged. He came to us this morning even, and greeted us in the morning, and was happy to see us there.
And then we had a nice walk in the evening with Vious. He took us around and showed us this river is amazing. It's a spring. It just comes right out of the side of the mountain. So it's fresh water. And they took us and showed us where they dammed the stream and then made a canal and dug a canal out and ran water.
So
Probably we followed it 500, 600, 700 meters.
Yes. And where they dug it out, they had to dig it like
4 meters, 5 meters.
3 or 4 meters high at the exit point of the river, just so that they could get these canal lits to get to where they've got some fields. Yes.
And it was splendid. So of course it goes from there across the field, and then it goes into the back of the headman's house and makes a bend there where he had some nice guinea fowl.
Yes, and quite a few houses for his wives.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But Vious only has one wife because he says he doesn't want. One is enough. He doesn't need more than one wife, which was nice to hear. And then the water goes on and carries on, and so Vious took us and showed us where it goes down and winds down around his field, and there's a lot of bananas.
Yes.
Too many bananas, so many bananas,
and
but not many bunches.
Yeah, you noticed not many bunches, so we were asking, what's happened here?
Well, why aren't there bunches? I see lots of bananas, but no bunches. Then we learned he'd had a fence, because he needed to keep out the mumbis, the cattle.
Yes.
But someone had stolen his fence, and so apparently the cows, they're too clever, and they come, and when they see the bunch hanging, they come and they push the banana over, and they eat the bunch.
And some of them got quite big horns as well, so you can imagine them knocking those banana trees down so that they can get the fruit. And Yeah, so that was quite sad to see all the bananas, but
Oh.
not many bunches.
And it's
Yeah.
right next to nice open field where he'd been liming, which was encouraging, and which is using calcium carbonate, which is a good mineral for those of you that aren't farmers. And he was getting ready to plant tomatoes. So
Yes.
he plants tomatoes, but he transports them all the way to Mazabuka.
And last time we were there, he was very generous with us, giving us some tomatoes and
Almost 100 Ks.
yeah,
Mazabuka.
the transport, not quite that, 80 Ks.
80 Ks.
Yes.
So expensive, hard for him to transport, but he's planting them. He's doing well. But one thing, I advised to notice, because we looked around and said, well, what a shame. There's all these beautiful bananas, but no bunches, and that's a waste. What can be done? So I was encouraging him to say, oh, you can cut these suckers, these big bananas, and then you could lay them in between your tomatoes, and the tomatoes will be enriched because potassium will come out of the stalks, and then the residue will be left in between and enrich the soil. And so he was really encouraged by that.
And he really received that, you could see.
I was going to implement
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's like almost become part of culture here, is that when it comes to this time of the year and preparing their lands for growing maize, the staple food here, they'll actually burn
Everything.
And neaten up the field. But Vious was so encouraged that he can do something like that, and that doesn't cost him, just some more work. For example, his lime, he was saying he spends 70 kwacha on transport, and the lime 50 kgs, was it? It was 140.
140, yeah.
So it's a third of the price just to get the lime out there because of the remoteness. But
So you can imagine, and that's part of our heart to help agriculturally, especially rural places, because they have so many added challenges, and transport is one of them.
Yes.
It increases the cost to bring inputs in.
yes.
It's a challenge to get their crop out. The crop can be damaged. It adds an expense on both ends to the crop. And so we're excited and look forward to. He's very receptive, I can see, and a quick learner. So I can see we're going to be able to help them agriculturally quite a bit. And so we walked through there. We looked at the fields and looked at the clinic. Passed by, there was a small clinic there. And then finished up pitching our tent down by the river, which was beautiful, and then carrying on to meeting them for a showing of Gwenda Jesu.
And Gwenda a Jesu means walking with Jesus. But such scripture-filled, rich stories put together on basically how we grow as a Christian and what it means to walk with Jesus.
Yeah,
And
so good.
so very relevant and encouraging to see the response there again. We've shown that before, one or two of those before when we've been out there, but encouraging to see a building of what's happened already. And yeah, it was also good, challenging for us a bit because we didn't have someone who could interpret. But
Yeah, we did.
yes, we did, but God
We
helped
did.
us to do that. But Denver and Gabriel are learning Tonga super quickly, which is amazing too. And it's just so refreshing and exciting to see the response of people where you are reaching out in their language. And as a team Denver shared the gospel between these short video stories on walking with Jesus. Gabriel shared his testimony, and we gave a challenge for the gospel, and there was a good response, and we saw genuine salvations. One person particularly, after he prayed, you could see he was so thankful and convicted, but he was thinking about his bondage with alcohol, and in front of everyone he said, how can I get free of alcohol?
Yeah.
And that's a real tragedy for many places, but Namaila is no exception. Guys are living in bondage there, and many are, and that keeps people back in so many ways.
Yeah.
But he was open, asking for help.
Yeah. Two young ladies came up,
Yes,
asked for prayer.
one lady was barren, which is a massive thing in this culture too, in any culture, but it's so big amongst the Tonga, and so we really had compassion. We felt God's compassion as we prayed for her, and then we encouraged people to come today, this morning, with any questions and for follow-up and some discipleship.
It was amazing.
And I was encouraged, you guys just loved that too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
To see the hunger, because people were, I think sometimes a bit of the challenge is, as I mentioned, us driving in, we could be a bit of a novelty. This is something new, and so people, if you're in a rural village, and something new comes rolling in, you're receptive, because especially if you're young, what's this new thing, and that's great, but then to find people so earnestly desiring to know more, to come sit, in the morning with us, and to just have conversation, and then us to open up and say, like, what questions do you have? And for them to really dive in and ask, and they were deep questions. They were quite profound. It wasn't surface things. There was what you would call splitting of hairs, which was quite encouraging and really illuminating. And then we actually ended up with a blessing of meeting someone for the first time.
His name was Blessing.
Blessing. His name was.
His name
Blessings.
was Blessings
Bwanji.
Manji. Blessings Bwanji, which
Bwanji
a lot of
means
blessings.
many.
That's a Nyanja word, Bwanji.
Bwanji.
Yeah, but that's his name. But he was a teacher there. That's the last school in the whole area. At Namaila, and he was the teacher there on his way to do his lesson. But he stopped by, and the Lord really brought him, because he had a humble
He ended
spirit.
up giving a lesson before his lesson.
Yes, and he was able to help interpret some of the deeper things that I was struggling with, and I really believe that we're going to work more with him as well, and Vious' wife was good to meet and to see the sincerity in her heart, and they overall you kept hearing, when are you coming? And we're already there, but they're saying, when are you coming? Like, when are you coming back? And how long are you staying? And even though we were there for a day and a night, they just know that's too short. And
they want more.
So exciting to see some relationships being strengthened and disciples starting, and
it's brilliant. It's truly wonderful to be able to have some place that's very far. Really quite rural, but not so far that we can't reach it easily. And so, that's very much on our hearts, is to reach everyone that God would entrust us with, but really to go to some of those where they're out of the way. It's the end of the road, literally. You get to Namaila, the road ends there. And there's no other ways really of getting to it. And it's quite the blessed place, very peaceful, but there's a lot of bondage. There's a bit of the gospel. But I think in many ways what we saw is exactly what we've felt convicted, and many people have told us, coming, we've only been here 3 years, so in many ways we're new. But people telling us that, the gospel is often a mile wide but an inch deep.
Yes.
And, it's so important for us to go spread the good news, absolutely. But really, Jesus said, go into all the world and make disciples. And discipleship is a process over time, where we deepen our understanding of God, and more than our understanding, we practice. We change, we apply it to our lives. And that's what you can see there. You can see people who, they've heard the message, and in fact, finding most of them had received the message of Jesus previously. But you find they're wanting more. They want to know more about it, and how does this work? And so I can see for sure there's an openness, a desire for discipleship. And like you said, many blessings. Like he was thirsty for the opportunity to talk and learn and discover. And again, the depth of questions were very encouraging. So we're greatly encouraged. we will be going back hopefully within the next 2 to 4 weeks. We'll make it a point to go back and visit and spend some more time really having questions,
Continuing with what we're
reading
doing,
the Word, and worshiping,
Mm.
singing together. And we look forward to going back as a family. I know Vious' wife, she was playing netball
Yes.
that very night we were there. So she missed the Gwenda Jesu,
Yes,
unfortunately.
I missed
But she came in the morning.
that. Yeah.
But she was off in a nearby village, although it's
Nearby, but it took hours for it to get back.
it's quite far.
Yes.
So she was playing netball, which is kind of like we were asking. It's kind of like basketball. We've seen them. But it's not. It's a pole with a hoop,
Yeah.
and so they play. And I guess more women play. The men don't really play netball. They play
Yes.
football.
Yes. Yes.
But it's cool. I mean, she seems to be athletic and intelligent and hungry for the Word as well. So I was so excited. I can't wait for Himberton.
One of the things that really touched me on this trip now was how they were really surprised that, for example, they didn't have to wait for a bishop or someone from the headquarters to come and allow them to be baptized. But just hearing afresh the Great Commission that we've been all given as believers, to go into all the world and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then I'll be with you always to the very end. And that's what's so encouraging for me, is doing ministry like this. It's the body of Christ being active, and people are seeing teams come, people come, and breaking even that mold of error down, and just the freedom of, well, I can be a child of God and God can use me to help extend the gospel, and it's so refreshing to work where you can see God pull down, should I say, religious strongholds that maybe have been taught that's not in line with the truth, and bring correction. And when you find someone that's not bound by pride, it's so refreshing to work with, and that's what I'm encouraged about. There's a few people there that we see that they are responding in humility and not genuinely wanting to grow.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more. Please like and subscribe, follow, and we'll continue to update you on the project at Namaila. Also, you'll see we'll put updates as well for any other like Jesus film things that we're doing, and hopefully, actually not hopefully, very soon, in the next few weeks, we'll be starting our first proof of concept RAM hub, Redeeming Agriculture Through Management, which is the agricultural hub component of Spear, where we'll be actually trying to help, we'll be helping by creating opportunity for employment and discipleship as an adjunct to churches. As we plant churches, as we disciple people, we want to provide greater opportunity for them to become employed, and for especially those managers within that agricultural hub to be able to do, who are overseeing them, to be able to do discipleship, to be able to be living with them day by day, where they can truly be walking with the Lord, truly be in Jesu. Okay?
And just to say, unfortunately, many people think when they see new people come, what have you got for me?
Yeah.
And in other words, looking not spiritually, but just what have you got for me to assist me, because of a poverty mentality. And it's there in Namaila too. How can you help me?
Yeah.
And it's ironic because yes, there's poverty, but there is an abundance of resource, and that's where we believe strongly, like with RAM, through God's vehicle of the local church, we can be a blessing there, and also show people that we're not there to just give a handout, which is what sometimes is expected, and actually can be a hindrance to the gospel, because people are not looking to Christ, but Yeah. So that's really encouraging for us to see what will develop here.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.